Well, given the fact that Detroit runs a lot of zone coverage, I think Jacoby Myers makes a boatload of sense. And this could be like a 5-6 catch game. I like the over on receptions for him. I believe the number right now is at 4.5 at BetMGM. If it's a little bit too juiced up in that market, do a little SGP. Once again, reduce the juice and get seduced by that juice and put it together with Devontae Adams and the alt yards market. I grabbed him at 60-plus yards, part of like a four-legger that I do have. I play it up to like 80-plus yards on Devontae's swing for all you old school Jodeci fans out there. Guy that could definitely have some smooth moves on the field tonight. I think he is going to be, squeaky wheel gets the grease. He is going to live up to that phrase, and the guy's probably going to get, I would say, minimum of what his usual target share is, and that's 30%. So probably 10 to 12 looks from him. Could deal with a deficit sometime in this game, and that only adds fuel to the fire that he is going to get at least 60, 70, maybe 80 yards in this game with at least 6 receptions, if not a heck of a lot more. So that's how I'm playing the Raiders side of things. And I will say this, guys, heavy under on Josh Jacobs for me on the rush yards. Is that number?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's come tumbling down the mountainside. I grabbed it when it opened at 64.5. Now I think it's in the 50s at BetMGM.
55.5.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. What a closing line value your boy got. I had no idea it was at 55.5. It's extraordinary. Got it at 64.5. Detroit, number 10 in the NFL. And rush EPA defense. They're giving up just 56.1 rush yards per game to running backs. Entire running back cores on the season. And Josh Jacobs, one of the dregs of the keg in yards after contact per attempt, missed tackle rate. He's been kind of like trapped in a phone booth. Not getting any kind of space for him to operate behind this rickety offensive line, and he is going to be swarmed under tonight.
The Eagles are really good, guys. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
And they got the Cowboys coming up this Sunday.
That's going to be the game right there.
I cannot wait for that game. It's a test for both teams, really. I mean, if this is the Cowboys now after the loss that they had, obviously, to the 49ers a while ago. They've reeled off a bunch of wins. You have a great win over the Rams, and now you've got the 7-1 Eagles coming up. And Philadelphia should, rightfully so. They should be the favorites in that game. They are the favorites. But, right now, Philadelphia is only a 3-point favorite in this game. It feels like it has the opportunity to be a close game if Dallas can get up early. We know Dallas is a great front-runner team. They're good when they're up.
Yeah,
they play well when they're up.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait. Out of all, and plus, you know how these division matchups get in the NFC East, too. It's always it could be just a bloodbath.
I like Dallas in the game. I mean, spoiler alert, I do. I
kind of actually do a little bit. At least I would love to see like a 3.5 or a 4.
Yeah.
It'd be a better spot, but I kind of feel like this could come down to like a last-second field goal. What do you guys think the legit ceiling is for the Lions at this point from what you've seen?
I think they could win a playoff game. I think that should be the goal this year. Not that they can't go further. I mean, nobody saw the Bengals in the AFC a couple of years ago making that run. It's just, it's tough. Philadelphia is so tough in the trenches. And not that the Lions aren't, man. They have a really good offensive line, and they have a really good pass rush. They're good against the run. I just worry a little bit about that secondary, going against Jalen Hurts if he's healthy with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, if you look at, what Terrell Owens did that year in Philadelphia with Donovan McNabb, the year they went to the Super Bowl and he was out there playing hurt, A.J. Brown's numbers are better. He's top 3 wide receiver in this league.
Absolutely. I would go. I might even go top 2.
What the hell were the Titans thinking?
I might go Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown.
You want it up out of there.
Then Jamar Chase.
I think the ceiling is the NFC Championship game.
Gibbs?
I really do.
Oh no,
Jamison Williams.
Oh,
we don't care about him. We don't care about
I
him.
have no. His receptions were 2.5.
Yeah,
I was
I'm out.
this close.
It's still week by week with
but
him.
But think about this: the Niners have injuries on the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
You've got injuries to key receiving core members.
Purdy might not be.
Might not be as confident
when everything's not working well.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to see Darnold. I didn't think Purdy should have been out there yesterday. I know he just cleared the concussion protocol. I would have given him another week, man.
He didn't. I mean, he looked okay at the beginning of the game.
It comes down to they got to get Trent Williams healthy. Pat, moving back over to the NFL, we got the Germany game coming up this weekend, and it's going to be a good one. We get Chiefs-Dolphins. Chiefs open up as 2.5-point favorites. They have their 6-game straight-up run come to an end. They lose on the road. Still 5-1 against the spread, I know. What is the book going to need here? And, I know the total went up from 49.5 to 50, came back down a little bit. What are you seeing here in this Chiefs-Dolphins game? Probably one of the better matchups this weekend.
Oh, yeah, and it's a shame it starts at 6:30 in the morning here in Vegas. Unbelievable. But I'll be in Biloxi. It'll be 8:30 in the morning.
Lucky.
So I get to. I picked a good weekend to go to Biloxi. So, look, from what oddsmaker I spoke with, he noted, look, Kansas City didn't look great against Denver. Obviously, if you're losing to Denver, a team you've beaten 16 times in a row, and you're a touchdown favorite, you only get 9 points. But he said we're not going to overreact here, and one of the reasons he said that was he, in his mind, and I tend to agree, Miami hasn't beaten any good teams yet. And on a neutral field, he said he's totally comfortable with Kansas City -2.5. I'm not sure what the need on this is going to be, though. This is a tricky one to gauge because Miami's got great offense and the public has been on Miami. Kansas City in a bounce-back spot. I mean, look, Kansas City lost its first game, and then it won 6 in a row and went 5-1 against the spread. So I think the Chiefs are going to be ready to go this week. It's a really good game.
I think the Bengals are okay.
Yeah.
I think if they're going to continue to reel off these wins, they're going to compete with Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's why, I'm not going to discredit the Niners, even though they lose at home 31-17. Purdy threw some bad picks, but also I just thought Lou was great in that game. He was switching his man and zone coverages. Like you saw that on that last one where Purdy took a deep shot. I mean, that was like what we saw when Bill Belichick was doing that to Darnold and he was seeing ghosts out there. Lou Anarumo is the real deal. He's going to be a good head coach.
Well, if you remember, too, I mean, right, this is the thing I kept bringing up with the Bengals even before the season started. They get off to slow starts every single year.
They do.
And they find ways to fight back. This year it was based also off of an injury, and the calf wasn't right for Joe Burrow, and now he's back. I mean, he only had 4 incompletions, three passing touchdowns, and the offense hummed. The offense looked great. And I know that there are people that are using this as a chance to pile on Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy compared to Joe Burrow, of course he's not going to look as good. But for the good part of that game, Purdy was efficient. They were moving the ball well. He wasn't making mistakes. The problem is Purdy still hasn't shown that he can bring back the 49ers when they're down. Similar to Dak Prescott. Say if I'm going to criticize Dak Prescott for not being able to do that, I'm going to do the same thing with Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy is a quarterback that doesn't make a lot of mistakes and can be efficient and play smart football. But that's easy to do when you're up by a couple of touchdowns. And we haven't seen that now from him multiple times. It's certainly nice to have your blind side protected by one of the great left tackles in the NFL in Trent Williams. They need him back. They need Debo back. But there are some quarterbacks in the NFL that are good, right? You got a good system. They got good stuff around them. They're efficient. You know what you're going to get from them, and they can win you football games. There's others that can elevate everybody on the team, even if you have injuries, even if you're down a few bodies, even if you're missing some really important pieces on your offense. That's a Patrick Mahomes. That's a Joe Burrow. That's some of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's just not Brock Purdy. I think the 49ers will be okay. They've got a bye. They're going to get this thing right, and now we're seeing that the Bengals are okay, and having your guy back, Joe Burrow, healthy, makes all the difference in the world.